10.9.
And the oxygen was 8.6. Just doing a pH here as well, down there in that spring where there's 12.5 degrees centigrade. A really good pH for this river, 5.78. pH of 5.78 for the Mersey River. You'd be hard pressed to find a pH any better than that anywhere in the Mersey River. So not only do springs like this provide cool temperatures for trout in the summer, but it appears that they also provide a better pH. As a comparison, the surface water pH is below 5, 4.97. And on this instrument, at this particular spot, the water is 24.1 degrees Celsius. That's pretty typical of the surface waters on the Mersey, pH of around 5 this time of year. Just showing you a little video of this section of the upper Mersey River above Kejimkujik Park. Really beautiful section of river up here. Rocky and a little difficult paddling through this time of year, but really worth the effort. We're tracking fish number 3 in the West River. This is July the 20th, and Reg is picking the fish up on the receiver as we're ascending the river here. This fish had been lost for quite a while, but Doug Potter and Cody managed to find the fish from the floatplane a few weeks back, and we've been in to check it a couple times since then. We've pinpointed the location. These springs are very important for the survival of brook trout over the summer. If you look at the instruments here, you'll see that on the bottom where the spring is, we have a temperature of 10.2 and a pH of 5.04. We just brought the probe up to the surface a few minutes ago, and the pH was only, what was it, Reg, 4.2?
4.15.
4.15, which is very poor, but down where the spring is, the pH is pretty good actually for the West River. And you'll notice over to the left, the surface temperature here is 26.9. The oxygen isn't so terribly bad, but at 26.9, that temperature is way too high for a temperature-sensitive species like brook trout. So these areas in the park are very important for the survival of brook trout over the hot summer months.
We are on the footbridge here at Rogers Brook, and we're tracking fish number 5 that is on frequency 150-280. And this fish has been, after it was implanted with the transmitter, it moved down from Mill Falls into Rogers Brook. It stayed there for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and we had a week of cool weather and a bit of rain. Water temperature in the main river dropped down. So this fish moved out and went upriver about 4 kilometers, stayed there for 2 days, moved back down, and now he's out here off of the mouth of the brook, well, about 300 meters above the mouth of Rogers Brook here. And this fish is apparently out there now. He's been there for 5 days, and he is holding and waiting for something to stimulate him to move again. And we're on our way out there now to verify his exact position and do a little bit of work on the river there to find if maybe groundwater or something coming in there that's prompting this fish to hold in that position.
Yeah, and we've been looking at the water temperature here, and the water temperature is in the brook here right now is not too bad. It's a little over 21, and the oxygen level, I didn't stir the probe there, but you stir the probe, the oxygen level gives you a good reading, and it's a little over 5, which is tolerable. So the fish, we think, could come up through the brook here and back up into the summer hole, but probably it's waiting for a little decrease in temperature and a bit of fresh rain. Anyway, we're going to go out and try to pinpoint his exact location.
We have located fish number 5 on frequency 150-280, and he is laying right across the river from us here, and it looks to me as if there's probably some seepage coming in there, and we probably got some cool water that's cooler than the normal 26-degree water that's in the river at the present. Now, it appears that the limiting factor on the brook trout populations here in Kejimkujik National Park has to do with our summer refuge, and there's only so many summer refuges, and they'll only hold so many trout. So that is what we're doing now. We're assessing these situations and hopefully being able to identify them and make sure they're preserved so that we'll have brook trout in the future.
We're directly over fish number 5 here on the Mersey River above Jake's Landing, and there isn't any cold water here really. The bottom temperature is a little over 20 degrees, so we think probably the fish is holding out here for a little while, waiting for things to cool off or some rain before it moves back up into Rogers Brook into the summer refuge area. It's August 17th, and we've been tracking radio tag trout number 4, and that fish is in it's spending the summer in a cove on the southwestern side of Kejimkujik Lake, and there's a summer pool here with a good bit of groundwater coming in off of the mainland here, and it's found a nice hole with temperatures of 12 degrees on the bottom and a pH of 5.3. We've seen it as high as 5.5 or 5.6 in here. The oxygen is not very good at the bottom, so we feel that this fish is probably spending most of its time up in an upper layer with temperatures probably around the 20-degree range, but much better oxygen concentrations. These groundwater areas are going to be pretty critical for survival of brook trout in this park, and indeed in this part of Nova Scotia. If anything happens to the water chemistry here to change the temperatures or the good quality water that they have, these fish may no longer be able to spend the summer here, and in that case survival is going to end up being pretty poor. The kinds of things that could impact groundwater situations like this could be clear cutting or development or climate change. Climate change could be a big factor in the future that could affect these kind of summer pools, these groundwater influenced summer pools. So we have to become concerned about climate change and what it might how it might affect our brook trout down the road 10, 15, 20 years.
The results of our first spring and summer's work indicate in April, brook trout move into the main sections and larger tributaries of the Mersey River system to feed on insect hatches through May and June. When water temperatures approach 20 degrees Celsius, they move swiftly to summer refuges, which maintain cool temperatures with sufficient oxygen over the summer months. Some trout move 12 or more kilometers to these sites over a few days. They appear to have specific sites of groundwater or springs in the river or to deep sections of lakes that they have a knowledge of. If conditions improve, they will venture out again but return when waters warm up outside of the refuge. Brook trout are able to home over long distances through very dark water. We do not know how many refuges there are in the upper Mersey, but we feel that they are very limited. Initial assessments also indicate many of these are small in size and thus have minimal carrying capacity.
It's September the 15th and I'm tracking fish number 4, and the water's cooled down in the river a little bit, down to about 18 or 19 degrees, and fish number 4 has moved out of its summer refuge in Kejimkujik Lake near Peel Island, and has within a day has come over here to Jake's Landing and is now, looks like she is ascending the river. So it'll be very interesting to track the movements of this fish over the next few days. Probably will move up the river towards its spawning area.
October the 11th, the Tuesday following the Thanksgiving weekend, and we're here at Mill Falls. Over the weekend we've had extremely heavy rainfall and it's raised the water level here 35 centimeters. And in this high water, fish number 7, which is on 150-400 frequency, this fish has moved 5 kilometers upriver and is now positioned here in the big pool below the falls. And we're getting a strong signal here of 10 that you see on our machine, so you know that she's laying right out there in front of us. And this was a fish that was over the falls twice in their June run, and now she's back up here, and we presume she's going to go over the falls again to go up in the upper reaches to spawn. But that we'll just have to wait and see what happens. She may drop down and go into Rogers Brook, but this is all speculation at this point. But she has moved 5 kilometers in the last 2 days. Well, this is late in the afternoon on October the 11th, and we're at the viewing tower here on the main road in Keji, and we have been following this afternoon these various trout that are moving since we've had the high water over the weekend. And from the tower here now, we're able to pick up a transmission from 2 different trout. 340 was up in Little River, and that has moved down and is out off of Hog Island. And 360 was in West River, and that now is laying out here off of Big Mews.